Hi everyone, I'm Natalie and I'm a member of Team Uma New York, and I'm so happy to see you all today at our UMA Talks with our founder Rita Kakati-Shah. Hi Rita.
Hi Natalie, hi everyone.
All right, guys, and I'm so great that this week we were talking about workplace culture, and you send us all your questions because yeah, this topic is kind of a bit controversial, and everyone is talking about workplace culture these days, starting from scientists to experts to even wannabe experts, and people are sharing things and advice is starting from psychology to sociology to even some spiritual things. And our first question is from Sangeeta, and Sangeeta is asking, what exactly is workplace culture? There are so many definitions out there, and that's really confusing. And so I'm.
That's a great question, Sangeeta. Thank you for asking. So I like to think of workplace culture as a feeling you get when you walk into an office, when you walk into a building, a lobby, a team meeting, you feel something. It's generally an ethos given off, a feeling, the way things are done, values that a group or a company has. That is workplace culture. It's something creative, something that you can feel when you work in there, and it defines one place of work to another.
Oh, thank you, Rita. It's such a good definition. And let's move to our next question. And because I feel that those questions are kind of a bit connected, because the next question is from Troy. And Troy is asking, how to define whether my company has a good workplace culture or not?
That's a great question, Troy. And yes, you're right, they are connected. And actually something I should have said to Sangeeta earlier as well, that another way of thinking of workplace culture, it's usually some sort of thought process coming down from leadership. That is traditionally and structurally how we have been brought up and thought of workplace culture. When you go through leadership training, when you go through organizational development training, that is what you're told. I would say it's that plus so much more. It is top down leadership, but it's also bottom up. You shape workplace culture. Each person in the organization, from a grassroots level onwards, you are the workplace, you shape the culture. So Troy, in terms of how do you know from your place of work, it's a feeling that you get when you walk into your place of work. What is that feeling you get when you walk in? What are the conversations that take place? Do you feel you can be yourself in your team when you're in your meetings, or do you kind of feel like you have to put on a different face when you walk in? There is a difference with sort of waking up in the morning, putting on your professional face on and kind of going to the office, but can your personality shine through when you're at work? And that's really what defines whether you're walking into an environment of a good workplace culture or one that's maybe not so developed.
Oh, thank you so much, Rita. It's such a good question because, I made my own kind of research about what people are saying about workplace culture. And so often it is about, hey, my company should have a good leader, and the leader defines the culture. And pretty often it is treated for some reason in one direction. So there is a leader, and there is like people, and leader define the culture. And I'm so great that at UMA we treat it differently, and that Troy asked us question, and that we have this conversation that actually workplace culture, it is a direction in both ways, and leader defines culture and people defines culture. And also I want everyone to know that actually leaders are humans too, and as all of us, no matter what position do we have, we sometimes need an advice how to be a better in your position. And that's why I want us to help Madalena to answer her question, because she was recently promoted to a management role. So she's like a newbie leader, and she's trying to do her best. And her question is, how can I become a better leader for my team? So what we can advise to people who are just becoming good leaders?
That's a great question. Well, congratulations, Madalena, on your promotion to leading a team. So that's actually a great question. So it sounds like you've been in your place of work for a little while already. So you understand a little bit about the culture that you're already in terms of the work environment, the workplace culture. In terms of leadership, now you're faced with the task of saying, okay, I'm going to carry on the positive cultural messages, but I can also create my own. What are values that you love about your team, that you can see in your team? you may have the same team as you were in before. You might be put in charge of a brand new team. So get to understand and learn about your team first. That's the first step I think any leader should take. Yes, have senior leadership asking you to carry out a mandate, but you've got to understand your own team. And that is part of what creates the workplace culture to make it a great environment and a great team structure for you all. So again, congratulations. If you need any more pointers from us, please feel free to reach out. But it is a great journey, and it's all about listening and understanding from now onwards.
Oh, thank you so much, Rita. It's such a wise advice. And how do you think, is there anything that Magdalena can read or can like any kind of resources that will be helpful for her to make a better understanding? And when we are reading a book, sometimes it's just like a reminder for a month or for a week, depending on how long we read this book, of the values and beliefs that we want to grow in ourselves. And I noticed that for myself, when I do some reading, it's just easier to build new habits and new way of thinking. So what can help Magdalena?
Absolutely, that's a great question as well. So I think, whatever works for you. A lot of people like online resources, actual physical leadership books. There are so many out there at the moment. You might also have received some training, Magdalena, from your own company in terms of company policy or what is advice from a company perspective for leadership. So I would say take that on board and see for yourself. Generally, you get to hear stories when people are not good leaders. What makes the news? What makes blogs? What makes reviews? It's generally when somebody's done something wrong, they've had a negative experience. See what that is. Generally, it's, somebody doesn't understand somebody's growth cycle. It's not great with conflict resolution. You're not promoting people. You're not listening. The underlying message is of one of empathy, of listening, and being a decent and understanding human being. So a lot of it is just on your own core values. But then how can you carry on the company's mission that give everyone equal opportunities and chance? Listen to your folks, have team meetings, get to understand what everyone's working on, give people the chance. Remember, if you are a good leader, one of the messaging is you have to make your team even better than you. Don't think of it as I'm the leader, I have to always be in charge. Your mission is to bring your team up and to that higher level than even you are at.
Oh, thank you so much, Rita. I hope this helped Magdalena. And Magdalena, feel free to ask us if you have any more questions and need more support, and we are here for you. And also for all of our followers and all people who are watching our UMA Talks, we are here for you. And please feel free to ask us via DM, via comments, via emails. If we can help, we will always help you and we will always guide you. All right, just a moment, sorry. And let's move to our next question. And next question is from Steve. And it's maybe a bit sad question because Steve lost his job due to COVID. And probably right now, this is a very common situation over here, almost over everywhere. And so Steve is asking, in my search for a new job, how can I focus on a company with a good culture? So what to look for?
So I'm so sorry to hear that you lost your job, but as you said, it is something that so many people are going through right now. But it sounds like you've got a really good attitude. You're already doing a search for another job, and so you've got the right hat on there. So I would say that I'm hoping you've had a chance to really think about, and if you haven't, then this is the time to do it. Think about what did you enjoy about your last role and what are you looking to do? In terms of looking for a good workplace culture, that is so topical right now, and it's a great decision to make. One way of looking is on, people's websites. What is the mission? What are their values? What are they supporting? Look on the little tabs. If they've said they've done some non-work related or non-profit work, if that is something you care about, have a look at that. Have a look on people's LinkedIn profiles that are already working at the company. Because remember, culture isn't just from top down, it's from bottom up. Who makes up the teams that work there? Have a look at LinkedIn profiles, see what are the hobbies, see what are the personalities, what people are doing that are already working there. Try and get that flavor of what you're trying to do. And think about yourself. What are the values that you actually care about? In terms of workplace culture and what you're looking to do, what makes you happy? What is it you're looking for? Is it lifestyle? Is it family values? Is it somewhere that really just wants to get the work done and you leave at the end of the day? Or do you not care about what hours so much? Is it something that you want to work on a longer term project and the hours is not an issue? That is only something that you can determine. So once you've made up the checklist of what you're looking for, then start looking at companies or divisions or areas within companies that certainly look like you could fit there really well.
Oh, thank you, Rita. It's such an interesting advice because it's all about kind of understanding the not only the what you're gonna do, but the context, how it's gonna feel. It's
Yes.
such a good answer and a good question as well. And so, Steve,
And
I hope you, yeah.
no, sorry, and I was going to say to Steve and to Natalie as well, and to everyone, is that the way I just answered that question is very suggestive of, it's with Facebook in New York City, the rest of the world is starting to open up, but we don't know what's going to happen in the future. What happens if working from home continues a little bit more? So I would say just take that into mind and see that about your workplace culture too. How are other employees dealing with remote work as well? So think of it holistically. The values of the company are still going to be there no matter what.
Oh, thank you, Rita. And probably with all this work from home situation, it's changed like everywhere, uh, a company are facing the situation where they should find a way how to transfer the company culture and work culture to the work from home state of things. And the next question is from Maria, and Maria is a team leader at her company, and she's asking, with the work from home transition, I noticed that the degrees of the level of connection in my team. How can I do as a leader? What can I do as a leader to improve the situation? So, what is Umar advice for for building healthy work culture at home?
That's actually a great question. And actually, what a coincidence. We've just been talking about work from home. So I think, just as a leader, as a team leader, always make sure that you are listening to your teams first, especially when you're working from home. And now it's gone on for a while, people are pretty zoomed out. People are pretty webinar out at the moment. So it's even tougher right now to think, okay, how do we get people engaged? So it has to be, you have to keep people motivated. What is the mission for your company? What are you working toward? What are the goals? And then how are your team members working toward that goal? How are they taking ownership for what they're working toward? If you keep reminding people for the end goals, how everybody in the team is responsible for their own delivery of that, it helps them get sort of invigorated again and reminds them of, yes, I'm very much a part of this company. I'm working towards these goals. This is what I'm doing, and this is how I'm contributing. And similarly, at the end of whenever you have your team, your weekly catch-ups or your sort of team goal meetings, acknowledge that, see what people have been working on, take the time to thank people for their work and acknowledge what they've done. Quite often it's hard. People don't see what other people are doing, especially because you're not meeting in person. People quite often confuse working from home from actually, are they doing anything? So this is the time for everybody to actually say, okay, well, we talked about you working on this, give us an update. And actually everyone can share that tangible update and talk about their victories, their challenges, and what's coming next. So it gives everyone that opportunity to play leader for a while too.
Oh yeah, that's true. Thank you so much, Rita. And it's so funny that when you were talking about that, we may think do other people are actually doing something. I was so surprised because I only when you say it, I felt that oh, for some reason I sometimes even I feel like this way. And yeah, probably the good context and the good understanding, and when everyone is talking, and especially about the challenges, because when we are only like see just ourselves like as images at Skype or at Zoom or whatever, it's easy to imagine that, all right, I have this and this and these challenges, and he or she probably don't have any challenges at all, and it's like pretty on that side. And making people share actually what happening there, it can give better like context and better understanding for all of us.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's all a learning journey. Everyone's in it together. So
yeah, that's true. And thank you guys for all of your questions. I'm so happy that we have an opportunity here to help you, to guide you, and with Uma Talks help you to understand what to understand and find answers to all your questions. And guys, I'm so happy that to announce you the topic of our next Uma Talks and our next week, because next week we're gonna talk about kindness. yeah, it's really, really kindness, because we at Uma, we talk a lot about work, but kindness and kindness to yourself, kindness to your company, to your team is very, very important, especially these days when we don't see each other a lot. So I can't wait to see your questions about kindness, and stay tuned. Next week, we're gonna tell you more.
I love that topic. Thanks, Natalie. Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
Rita, and thank you, everyone. Bye.